Okay, hello again. This is Stephanie Weiss, your librarian, kind of leading you through this virtual tour of library resources for the RN-BSN program. So today we're going to look at OneSearch. OneSearch, in the most basic definition, would be a big database that we dumped the other databases into, and that includes the library catalog. So you can actually use OneSearch to find both things that are physically here in the building as well as online resources like ebooks and journal articles, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to focus on using OneSearch and then look at a few other brief things in conjunction with it. So let's get started. OneSearch box, the basic search is just right here on the library homepage. And so let's do a quick search. I'm going to enter diabetes. So this is pretty general search, so you'll see that we've got quite a few results up here in the top left-hand corner. But that's okay. We're going to look at some ways to refine those. So before we start doing anything, let's look at those refinements and limiters. So over here on the left, some commonly used ones we've got right here. Full text, you could choose that, although the way we have OneSearch set up currently is to show you just things that you have access to. So you, for most of the time, you wouldn't need to check that full text box. You might indeed want to check the peer-reviewed. You can actually either check the box or hit the words there. If you check the box, do remember to hit update. I'm going to go ahead and mark peer-reviewed. You'll see that about halved our results. Another thing you might want to do is change your publication date window. I know for a lot of assignments you need to get things that are more recent, so within the last 5 to 10 years, say, so you can actually use the slider and then you can hit update, or since we need to get pretty close in those years, I'm going to go ahead and type in the box. So let's try the last 5 years. And then hit update. So we've about halved again. Other things you might want to do, check the source type. We already are on peer-reviewed, so that's going to actually encompass most of the academic journals, but you can actually look at these numbers and see, based on the full result number, that there are going to be a few more things than just what are in the academic journals. So that's going to be totally up to you as to what you want to check there. Subjects can also be helpful. I'm going to come down here and hit show more so we can see all of them. So these are subject headings, and in library terms, those are kind of like tags on the rest of the regular internet. So all of the articles that we found in this search have essentially been tagged with some kind of subject. So, and these are the ones that you'll find. So you can actually go through, you could pick multiple ones, and you could, or just a single one, and you can see that out to the side of each is going to be the number of articles that you'll find if you choose that one. And if you chose multiple, you would just add those numbers together, and those would be your result number. So choosing several doesn't necessarily mean that all of the articles you get in your result list are going to have all of those tags or subject headings associated with them, but it does mean that you will get the ones that have those multiple. And of course, remember to check update if you do choose any. So I'm going to leave that as is right now. I just want to look at viewing your results. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can click the title, and that will take you to the full record where you can read an abstract, because usually on the front it just shows you a few lines worth. And you might get a little bit more information. In this case, we've got the DOI. Sometimes you'll see other information like the author affiliations. Just depends on what kind of information the system has for that particular item. You've got your tools over here on the right side. So most of these are self-explanatory. A really handy one, I'll just point out, the cite function. So if you hit that, it will give you a ready-to-go citation for various commonly used citation formats. One thing to remember though, whenever you use the citation generator, to check over your citation, because this is a computer that's putting it out for you, so you want to make sure that what you have is indeed right. Sometimes if the information that goes in isn't quite right, might have been some typos, that kind of thing, then you're going to get out the same typos. So just give it a once over. And also check with your professors to make sure you know how they like their citations. Some people are really sticklers for it being perfect. Others don't care as much as long as they can find the item themselves if they go looking for it. Another one is export. We'll look further at what you can do with the export function, but just briefly, you can export the citation to a citation manager like RefWorks or EndNote. I'm going to click that off. Another great thing, which I highly suggest you use, is the folder, which is actually the My EBSCOhost account. So OneSearch is created by the database or publishing company called EBSCOhost, and they actually own a lot of other databases. So the good thing about having an account with them is that whenever you use OneSearch or any of their other databases, then it's the same access. It's like a cross-platform thing. So anything that you saved in one place into the folder, you could access in the other. So in order to create an account, you would go to the sign in at the top and then create a new account link. So this is not tied to your N number at all, so you can make it whatever you want. You don't even have to use your school email. It's totally up to you. And then just make sure to hit Save Changes. I'm going to go back. So when you're signed in, it would change to sign out up here, and that way you know that you're signed in. And then you can actually be using this folder. The folder allows you to stay organized, and it acts as a really easy way to get back to any references that you've saved in there as well, because you will get the links to the full text. In this case, we've got a link source link, so it's super handy for making sure that you've still got access to everything that you need. I'm going to go back to our original result list and just point out a few more things. So this one, like I said, we've got the link source link. This is basically just a link or a bridge, I guess is a good way to describe it, from OneSearch to the database that houses the article. In this case, it happens to be CINAHL. We're going to look at CINAHL in another session. So number 3, we've actually got a direct link to the full text. So I'm going to click that just so you can see what it looks like. You get a frame with the actual full article in there. You still got your tools over here to the right. If you don't remember what one is, just hover over it and it will tell you what it's for. And you can see you do have the full article here. The main difference between having a PDF or some other kind of format like HTML, which we'll see shortly, is that you do get the page numbers. Here we go, so here's a page number. And you also get reproduction of the original layout. So wherever there were photos or graphs, those appear here because we're looking essentially at the original. If I go back to the result list, find another that's got, here we go, number 8 has HTML. I'll just click that real quick. So you can see we've got the whole article here, but it is indeed just the text. You'll also get any diagrams or charts that come along with it, but they may or may not be in the exact same place where they appeared in the original. So you want to just make sure that you know what your professor wants. I know there are some who require PDFs and others may not. Just make sure you check in so you get whatever you need. And when you're in the actual result, like we did with the first one, you can see you do have your links to access however the access is granted over here on the left side. Let me just run back to our result list real quick. I do want to show you what happens when you use the full text through link source. You could also see something that says full text through some other database like Science Direct, for example. Again, like I said, it's a bridge, and what's supposed to happen is that you click that and it takes you to your article. And this one, here we go, PDF. Sometimes it'll open directly to the article, sometimes you have to click again. And there we go, we have the full article. And you do have some options for what you want to do with it if you want to save or print it out. Just head back over here. So I think that's all for OneSearch right now. There is a OneSearch guide, which you can access from the library homepage. I will just pull that up real quick. Right down here on the left, if you just type OneSearch in this box under library guides, it will be the first one on the list. I've done it a couple of times. And right there, so you can have a pretty in-depth view and step-by-step for using OneSearch if you get a little mixed up or forget what we looked at today.